Okay, so basically I just started by grabbing the 12 by 12 sheets of paper here and picking out the ones that I wanted to use for the base of the book to make the pages. So I started trimming them down to size. I used my envelope punch board to figure out the size of the papers in order for them to be 5 by 5 envelopes whenever I was done with them. So I just am trimming them down here. And then I start just making the envelopes. So you just punch and score. I'm using a butter knife here because Nadia misplaced my bone file. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here, but it worked. So I just fold up the envelopes and I figured out which side of the paper I wanted to be on the outside, and then just adhered everything down. And I really wanted to, I rounded the corners on the flap too, but I really wanted to have Velcro closures, so I'm just putting little pieces of adhesive Velcro on the tops there. Next, I wanted to make a shaker pocket using the sequins that came with the Clique Kits, kit, and so I just filled up half of the pocket. This is a little 4x4 um, uh, photo sleeve, and I just filled up just one of the sections, one on each side, and just made little triangles in the corners just for fun. So I put some of the sequins in there, and then used my fuse tool to fuse it. And then I just used some of the ephemera from the pack to stick in the other parts. So I just picked some stuff out there and then filled up the other little pockets with those. That's just for fun. Then I took this acetate sheet. I love this thing. Oh my gosh, it's such a pretty sheet. But I just trimmed it down, kind of measured it up to the envelope because the envelopes ended up being a little bit bigger than 5 by 5. But I just trimmed it down so that it would fit as just a sheet in the book. I also used my own transparency sheet because I wanted to have another one in there as well. And these are the leftover scraps from whenever I cut down the paper. So I just took the smallest ones, trimmed them down a little bit more, and I wanted to use those for tags. So I just cut the corners off here. I saved the triangles. You'll see in a minute how I used those. And then I just made little tags and punched holes in the top and just wanted to add those into the book almost as pages. So then I just measured 2 chipboard pieces and cut holes in there for the front and back cover, lined everything up, and now I start working on the front. So splattered some of the Heidi Swap color shine for fun, added those little triangles like I told you before to the corners there. I like to use my scraps and just added some other pieces, like a little scrap piece of paper there, one of the tags from the pack, a wood veneer, and a sticker on top. Next I start making the pages, punching holes in them, and I just bind them all together with just some silver binding rings. Nice part about making a book like this is you can add things later, as you'll see I end up doing. Then I used some seam binding that I had. I have lots of it. I just like to add it to all of my books too. And then I just start grabbing some pictures, and this is just where I start doing a little bit more embellishing on the pages. So I used some of the journaling cards and made little pockets. I stuck a tag in that one. Used the stickers. I love the stickers from this pack, and actually I used a piece of ephemera and I stuck it over the transparency sheet, and you'll see what I do whenever I show you the finished book. Yeah, I basically put these letter stickers on the front. I kind of messed it up and I have them hanging over the edge now because there wasn't enough space for the word love. But I kind of like how the L and the E go over the top and the bottom. And you can always put baby powder on the other side if you don't want the stickiness to be there anymore. So you can see that Nadia's hand will pop in and out of here every once in a while. I also made some with the other scraps. I made little tabs using my tab punch. I like to add those. So I just staple those in place, making sure that there's still enough room in the envelopes for me to put stuff in. And then I just stuck some of the stickers, the words, on top of those tabs. I really like how that turns out, how that looks. I like things to just be like hanging out of the edges of the books. I think that's one of my favorite parts of my albums. Um, Took a couple pictures that I had using my Instax mini camera, and I just put those on the tag since they were nice and small. This is where I start to try to figure out what I want to do with some of the other photos that I had printed out. So I just trim them down, stick them on tags, or stick them on the envelopes. And here I used the cut apart sheet, and I put the one that says awesome sauce. I put that on that picture of Nadia with her heart sunglasses. She's helping me, sticking things on pages. So yeah, I just kind of would use paper clips and things like that too. I cut apart this sheet because I decided I wanted to add more little interactive pages, or actually just little additions in between the pages. So here I cut apart some of those little, like they're like cards, journaling cards. I don't know what you would call it, but I just stuck them on some of the tags. I punched holes in one of them to make it its own page. I used a little flare button there on the envelope. That was fun. Yeah, and I just basically spent the rest of the time just embellishing and journaling. I took that card out, drew some lines because my handwriting will go at a very, very bad slant if I don't do that. So I journaled a little bit on the back of that one. And just played around a little bit more until I got everything how I want it, and then just filled up the envelopes with pictures, and I was done. So I really hope that you enjoyed this.
Belly button. These are flower stickers on your belly. See, look, is this here? Go touch it. This nose.
Uh-huh.